Buddy Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report
back.
after hours. After the Celtics beat the Kings 101-100. Josue thought the Kings would pull it off late. 21-1 run nearly stuns the Celtics bench unit that went in
Bobby
late.
was like, "This one's over." They blew it again.
Yeah,
They almost did.
I thought once De'Aaron Fox especially hit that three at the end, gave the Kings a 1-point lead. Thought that was a wrap, and Celtics come down the next possession. No timeout, so they're setting this up themselves. They go to Hauser downhill. He runs into a crowd, and in a great play, pokes it away from Keegan Murray, who had just blocked him. Goes out to Xavier Tillman, who hits a floater on the putback with about 6-7 seconds left for the win. Boston, of course, had to make a stop the other way, and they do on Fox. A couple tip-ins around the basket nearly went too. So scary finish there for the second unit, third unit even.
Right, but they stuck with it. I mean, that's the part you take away from this. That's the part that Joe Mazzulla loves most, and that's why he kept those guys in there. I would have been really disappointed if he went back with the starters, and it really would have surprised me, honestly, if that was the case, because this is what put these guys through. I mean, the Sacramento Kings have erased a lot of deficits this season. That's a big reason why they're sort of in the playoff picture right now. Playoff implications in this game. De'Aaron Fox going off. I mean, give me all that, especially with Peyton Pritchard, the way he performed tonight. I thought he was solid as a distributor. He just looked so comfortable throughout that first half before, the sky was falling in that fourth quarter when the stars were pulled. But regardless, he remained poised. On the defensive end of the floor, I thought he was tremendous as well. Got a couple of steals going, kept things cool, calm when at the height of the storm. They obviously fell. They were down by 1 point in that at the end, or at least a couple of points. And I just think the Celtics, the fact that they stuck with it and it wasn't the starters, I think that's huge. Sam Hauser staying with it after missing all those three-pointers. He didn't get down on himself. So all that stuff matters, especially when you look at this team and where they're at with 6 games left to go in the regular season.
Yeah, and it's an experimental night for the Celtics to some degree, too. They start Hauser, who goes 1 for 18, and Al Horford next to Kristaps Porzingis, which is a look they like getting to more and more. Double big looks throughout the first half.
Right.
A ton of zone in the third quarter that got the Kings going a little bit after a slow start to that frame. They stayed within striking distance for much of this game, and then the Celtics put their foot down going through Porzingis between the third and fourth quarters, which is what led them to be able to sit the starters down up 19. So they squandered that 19-point lead in the fourth quarter there. But the contrast between a team desperate to stay out of the play-in, stay in that upper tier of the play-in at the very least, and the Kings, who were had Sabonis and Fox flying at Pritchard and Hauser, blocking their shots. At one point, looked like Pritchard got blocked by like 3 guys inside, and the Celtics went on a massive drought while they blew that lead out there. And as you said, good that they didn't have to do the walk of shame. Great for the morale of that second unit that they were able to pull out of it and survive. But that would have been quite the meltdown for the third unit, and some interesting questions after the game if they weren't able to pull it out.
Oh, yeah. We would have got Angry Joe to the fullest, a back and forth between him and Gary. It would have been the whole 9. But that's the thing with the Celtics team. I just think the maturity obviously has been there. And I think we knew that going into this one. But again, because of this, who the Sacramento Kings are and what was on the line, I love that they were able to pull this one out and didn't get so down on themselves that they blew that huge lead. They knew there was still plenty of time on the clock. And in the playoffs, maybe these guys or most of these guys aren't going to get a whole lot of playing time, but when their numbers are called, guys like Hauser, Pritchard, maybe even Tillman, Cornette, I mean, they have to be ready. And I think it's not just being physically ready and knowing the tactical approach to a game, but also being mentally ready. And I think this helps. It really does. Hanging on the way they did and doing it without the starters' help in that fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, the Celtics scored, I want to say, 17 points.
Felt like last 6 minutes they didn't hit a bucket until that Tillman one.
And that's a huge spot for them to be in. And then Joe Mazzulla telling us the way Pritchard was handling things towards the end, he didn't feel the need to call a timeout. He didn't want to disrupt what was going there, and he thought that Pritchard had the upper hand. And at the end of the day, they did. That
was Joe's message after the game. They're going to need quite a few of these guys. They've leaned on them all year, so they deserve the opportunity to close it out, and they do by the skin of their teeth. 101-100 over the Kings. Jaylen Brown, okay. No thought to sitting him, icing him for the rest of the season with the hand injury. Joe Mazzulla again saying pregame that he's going to be all right with that left hand sprain. He did miss tonight, however. Derek White fine, as well as Jaden Springer, who said he will likely be available on Sunday after missing 4 of the last 5 games here. Expect a ton more rest in that game against Portland. Be interesting to see Rob back, Delano Banton, traveling back to the Garden for the first time since the trade. He's been going off.
He might drop 30 out here.
Malcolm Brogdon, too. Could he play? He's been traveling a little bit, but doesn't seem like he's going to play again this year.
You're going to ask him if he sacrificed this year? No, I'm just playing.
Gonna be an interesting day again, and that's where they are. Celtics all locked in, and it's rest time, it's experiment time, and that leads to a game like this, down to the wire game, and what was garbage time, effectively, to start the fourth quarter. 101-100 the final. He's Josue Pavon. I'm Bobby Manning. Shout out to our official daily fantasy sports partner, Prize Picks. No luck with them tonight, I don't think, with the starters going on.
Told you Al would get double figures, man. Shout out to Al Horford getting the double figures that he knew was a 10. They were set at 10. So yeah, he got more. That was my call.
Yep. Listen to Josue, our pregame videos.
You still got plenty of time, Bobby. We'll get this right before the end of the season. We'll get it right.
I'm Bobby Manning. Check them out, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that code CLNS for 100% matching bonus up to $100. And we will see you on Sunday, a 6 o'clock game, early post game that night. So we'll see you then. And that's our show for tonight. Garden Report after hours.